Welcome to WebUI Training, Vendor, Course 815, Vendor Inquiry. This training video will demonstrate how to navigate vendor inquiry. The key fields included are General tab, Ship From tab, Custom tab, History tab, Transactions tab, and within Transactions tab are Details tab, GL Distribution Details tab, PO Costing Details tab, and Manual Address Details tab. Before starting, you will need to have completed the following courses. To access Vendor Inquiry, you will use the hamburger menu. You will select Vendor, Inquiry, Vendor. On the left side of your screen, you will see Vendor Number and Ship From. These fields can be populated by either entering, selecting, or searching for your vendor. We will use Therma-Tru as our vendor for this video. And I'm entering a Ship From as well. You will click Search, and your vendor will populate in the grid. Arrow into your vendor, and here is your vendor information. The General tab vendor section will include address, phone number, status, terms. The next section, period balance, will show balances by periods. You can choose to see by dates or days by selecting within the period display format. Below is further balance information. The Ship From tab will have info as long as you've selected a Ship From on the left. We will skip over transactions momentarily and touch on custom. Here, if there are any custom fields, you will see them available. History will show the number of invoices and lines year to date by warehouse, product line, and year. Now we will head back to transactions. Within transactions, you can search by invoice number, transaction type, status, anything you see on this screen. You will notice above the grid, we are seeing 1,000. That's our record limit. If you are going to need to see more than that, you will have to change your record limit. For the purposes of this video, we will be entering invoice number 2818822, transaction types all, status will be both, and we're going to check Show Original Invoice Detail. You will see three types of transactions: the invoice, scheduled payment, and batch costing. You will only have batch costing if your invoice is tied to a PO. Notice the invoice dates. Invoice and batch costing will be the original invoice date. The date on the scheduled payment will either be the payment date or the due date. If it's been paid, you're seeing the payment date. We're going to drill into the batch costing transaction. Within the transactions, you're going to see the transaction detail. This is just an overview of the details. GL distribution details will give you the journal entry. PO costing details you will only see on the batch costing transaction. Manual address, you will see the details if there was a manual address on the transaction. That you will only see on the invoice transaction type. Revaluations we will not be using. Use the back arrow to back out of transaction details. One final note, within the grid, if this is a batch costing invoice, you will see a hyperlink to the purchase order. When this is clicked, it will take you directly to Purchase Order Inquiry. Congratulations, you have just completed Course 815, Vendor Inquiry. Now it's time to try it out. Go to Employees at Work, click the WebUI Train icon, follow the instructions to log in. Below is your suggested next course.